Hey brothers, how you going? And the occasional sister. Well, I've overdone it. So this isn't going to be a particularly inspiring video or exciting or entertaining. I've just overdone it. I've fucked myself. And this is why I'm making this video, because this is a reality channel and it's a men's channel to help men out and for us to find solutions to problems. And I've got a problem, and my problem is that I overdo it too much. I've never been able to find real balance. When I say I've overdone it, the last few days I've just pushed my body too hard. It's been 2 years since I was, 2 years and almost 2.5 years since I was really sick, and I'm still forgetting that I'm not what I used to be, and I haven't been pacing myself. I did 7 hard hours on my kayak the other day, which was stupid. It was the first time I've been at my kayak in months, so I wasn't worked up to it, and I went really hard, and I knew I should have come in after 3 hours of exhaustion, but I pushed it. The day before that, I was out fishing in my boat, and I lost the rod over the side, and I tried to rescue, well, I did rescue the rod, but I nearly I put myself at risk, and I should have had a big rest after that, because I was diving down deep, and that was a funny story actually. I'll share it with you. I haven't shared this on my main channel. I'll tell you the story how it went, because it is kind of funny, but I did share on my Patreon. So the Taika Bora rod was gifted to me by a Chinese bloke. I think he's Chinese, a really good guy called Chris Wong. He imports the Maxell reels and the Jigstar rods into the country, and he gave me one as a gift. They're worth $2,000 all up, and I had a fish on and it got pulled over the side, and I thought, oh fuck, it's gone in the water, and I was going up the channel in Mapua, so I jumped in to rescue it. I sort of half fell out, and I was on the side of the boat as it went down, and I was reaching to get it, and I sort of reached a point of overcommitting, so I went, oh fuck it, and I jumped in. I possibly would have tipped the whole boat over. I hadn't, because in trying to get it, and once I was in the water I realised I'd made a stupid mistake, because it's past my head and we're floating up the channel. But I dived down, and when I dived down to get it, I couldn't find it. I kept on going down. I was holding my breath for ages and ages, and when you're underwater a long time and you're not sort of used to diving, it's not good, and I was like struggling, and I was struggling to see it, and I couldn't see it, and I come up and gasped for air. My GoPro, it turned off. I'd only got a little bit of being in the water, and then I went down again, and the tip of the rod was sticking up. Just see it way down, and as I was diving down I was like aware that the boat's floating away, and all I was trying to do was get this fucking rod, and I just grabbed the tip, and as I was coming up I had a little star pop in front of my eyes. Like, I never experienced that. I think it's because you don't get enough oxygen, but there's a star popping, and I come up the top, like, took a breath, and I realised I was really fucked. Now, one of the things that cancer did to me is it robbed me the use of my bladder, so I have to wear incontinent product, and of course these are designed to absorb moisture, and this of course filled up with bloody water, and then I had the rod, but I had to get inside the dinghy. And what also happened was, when I was upside down diving down, my keys to my houseboat and my launch had floated out of my pocket, and they were floating away. So I had the rod in my hand, and I'm trying to swim after my keys, and I'm exhausted. And I realised how quickly things had turned really bad, and how I'd overdone it again. I'm going to put this up because it's getting cold out here. I've actually got shorts on, but it's wet and I'm cold because my boots are cold. And I finally rescued the keys, and by the time I got back to my dinghy, I couldn't get in the dinghy. I had to shift all the weight to the front of the boat, all the gear and that, and finally got up without sinking the boat, and I was fucked. And I went in, and I got 6 fish. I gave 3 away, and I kept 3 for myself to feed myself. And the next day those fish were gone, and I needed to go out again. Of course I went out and did that 7 hours, and last night, and then the day after that, I went out to get crabs to catch rig, and I was wading out to sea, and all I got was 2 crabs, and by this time I was just like completely fucked. Physically I'd been overdoing it and unaware of it. Last night I did a live feed on my other channel. I was on the boat, and I realised when I was doing the feed how tired I was. I paddled out in the channel to my boat because I wanted to. That's my old launch. It's an old launch, so it's not worth much, but it's a place you can fish off. And I went out to that, and I realised how tired I was. I did the live feed, I enjoyed that because people's energy picked me up, but by the time I rode back in last night and I got back in, I was really tired, and I could feel this little blister on my lip. And the herpes virus is a virus that if you ever get it, there's two types of herpes. There's the simplex 1 and 2. 1 is the one throughout your entire body, and 2 is the genitals herpes, which you don't want to get because both the herpes viruses you have for life. Luckily I've only got the one, I haven't got the genital one, thank God. That'd be terrible to have, but you live with these things if you've got it, I guess. But anyway, I had the type 1, and I could feel this little bump in my lip last night, so I put some, I think it's called Zorex on it, and I woke up this morning with a sore lip. And that's my body saying, Clay, you've fucking done too much, mate. You've pushed yourself. I've been up late editing videos. I'd also been helping a young guy who really was draining me, and he was just doing dumbass things, and I was really having to sort of, I've been helping him for the last 4 weeks now, and most of the time I'm talking on the phone and just trying to talk him into doing the right thing, but it takes a lot of energy. And I also physically have been helping him, and I'd given him some money for some stuff to help him pay his rent, and it just, all those things together, they combined, and they emotionally just kind of like wore me down too. So I was just doing too much, and this video really is, it's not to say, hey, look at poor me, I'm doing too much, I'm fucked. This video is to remind you guys out there to not be like me, and keep balance with what you're doing, because we're all guilty of doing it. It's like, and it's a reminder to myself, don't fucking slow down sometimes, mate. You're not what you were anymore, and it's really hard to remind yourself of that when you were once young and vibrant and you could go hard, balls to the wall, like all the time, non-stop. In the old days, I used to just go fucking full on. Like, I would do 50 or 60 concerts in a row without a break in Germany. People say, how do you do it? Oh, I'm just fucking punch on through. But that mentality hasn't served me well, because I end up getting exhausted like I am today. Lucky for me, I don't suffer depression like a lot of people do when they become exhausted. Like, even though I'm fucked right now, I still have the motivation, and the motivation's the word really I'm looking for, but also the passion to make a video about being fucked and doing too much. And that's just something I'm blessed with, because a lot of people, when they become exhausted, they also become mentally exhausted, and that's something I don't have. Not to say I haven't had it before, but these days I woke up this morning, I'm still happy. I'm just fucked, but I'm happy. So happy's not the right word, content. I'm content, and content to make a video about being fucked. I'll carry on the story because it's kind of funny about the fishing. For those of you that are still watching and have stayed with me this long, here's the bit for you guys that kept on watching this video that the rest who clicked off aren't going to see, because this is the funny part. So I'm out in my boat, right? I'm back in my boat to rescue the Taikabora rod. Fucking nearly drowned to get that. Well, not drowned, but exhausted myself. I'm exaggerating there. I exhausted myself. I'm in the boat. I'd risked myself, put it that way. I'm in there, I'm fucked. I go in, I've got the 6 fish. I give 3 away to somebody, and then I left out a part in the story which is kind of funny, and I left it out because it's embarrassing, but I'm going to share it with you because you can have a laugh at my expense. So when I was out in the boat, of course, wearing incontinent product, they're fucking heavy. It's like having this, if you imagine a child's nappy, they're kind of not like it, that they're different, they're for adults, but it's this big fucking weight full of seawater, and it can hold 1.5 litres, so it's around my legs, and it's completely full, and it's slapping me around like I've got a giant ball bag between my legs. And I'm out in the boat and I thought, oh fuck, I can't even get up. So I took my pants off, I took everything off, and I'm completely naked in the boat, because I'm out in the middle of nowhere, and I'm wet and I'm cold, and I wanted to get my wet clothes off. All I've got's a life jacket on. It's a blow-up inflatable one, which I never set off. So I'm out there on this fucking boat now, and I thought, well, I better put a shirt on, otherwise I'm completely naked. So I put a wet shirt on, and I'm in the boat, getting all my gear sorted out and back in the right place, because I shifted everything around for the balance. And I'm going in towards the shore, and I'm looking to make sure there's nobody, because I've got no fucking pants on. And there's nobody there. It's Grossie Point in Mapua. There's nobody there, and so as I just come up, this blue truck pulls up just as because I'm accelerating with the outboard, and I lift it up, and just as I hit the shore, this blue truck, it's a guy that I know. He's the guy that built my shed here, the new shed I've got, and he's got his 8-year-old daughter with him, and I've got no fucking pants on, and I'm like, I'm sitting in the boat there, and he's like coming up, "G'day Clay, how you going?" And I'm like, fuck, I can't do anything. So I kind of try to position my shirt so it's hanging over me man bits. And he's just talking to me, looking at me in the eye, and he's got no idea that I'm naked, and he's got his daughter she's actually in the truck going to come out, and I'm like, oh fuck. The embarrassment for me, sitting there, and then he's probably wondering, why aren't you standing up? I'm just sitting in the boat, and I'm like sitting there, because I can't stand up. And we're talking for ages, and I'm like, good to see you, bro, but I'm thinking, good to see you, bro, but can you go so I can just stand up because I'm cold? And he's telling me this and telling me that. And he said, oh, I've come down to do a bit of fishing. And I said to him, oh, well, man, you better get out there now. Or the point's the place to go, because this is far away from here. You can catch fish at the point. I said, the point's the way to go, mate. You want to get there before the tide drops any more, because it's dropping. He goes, oh, yeah, right, bro. So he goes, and I'm like, oh, Jesus. I stand up, and it's like, fuck me, dead. I'm naked. I'm cold. I'm wet. I'm miserable. I go into the truck, and I've got some clothes I can put on and everything, and then I make a phone call for Awi to come and pick up the fish I've caught for her. I'm freezing cold. I've got the heater going, and that was day one of when things started to turn pear-shaped, and they kind of got harder and harder. So these are the things that you don't see in my fishing videos, the ones that I put on the other channel and that. You don't see the really shitty things that happen, because they do. Maybe they happen to me more than other people, I don't know. I tend to have a lot of bad luck. It's funny for me to tell you now though, because I'm trying to laugh because my fucking lips sore, but I actually think it's quite a funny story, and it makes fun of nobody but myself, so that didn't hurt anybody. Anyway, the project video today was about finding balance, and I'm really making this video probably for myself more than anybody, because I've been overdoing it. Slow down, mate, slow down. I don't know if I can slow down. It's the way I'm wired, I think, but I wish I could, but I can't. And even now, I've got things I really want to do. A very fine line between passion. One thing that does slow me down is the CBD oil I take for pain. I notice if I have quite a bit of that, it chills me a bit. I think it might have a bit of THC, and I don't know, but I find that does bring me down a little bit. So maybe I need more of that. Anyway, that was today's video. I'm making a video every day, regardless of what's going on in my life. You hear all the warts and all, and I hope it added some value to your day. Thank you very much, and go steady. Well, the rain's not going to stop. I'm going to carry on. It's beautiful in this native bush, isn't it? See you guys. Have a fantastic day. See you later.